Let's now head to Joel Kearns. He's the Deputy Associate Administrator for Exploration at NASA. Joel, how are you feeling?
Incredible day for science from space, Lindsay. And not only that, it's science coming from people out at the moon.
What's been the most surprising or exciting part that you've heard today in the communications between the Orion crew and Mission Control?
Well, for the past few hours, the crew has been doing observations of the sunlit areas of the moon as they go out to the moon and they get ready to swing around and come back to Earth. And they have said a couple of things that they just called down to the ground to get our comments or just let us know what it is they're seeing. One aspect is that they are seeing a lot of color on the moon. This is something we hoped they would see with the discerning capability of the human eye, because that could be an indication of chemicals or minerals or changes in the surface structure at the moon. Another thing we've noticed is that, in particular, our pilot, Victor Glover, has commented on the almost stark beauty of the terminator, that is the place on the moon where sunlight fades into darkness, right? And what he's noticed, since we're seeing the terminator on the far side of the moon, which we never see the far side of the moon from Earth, he's almost noticed how it looks like islands of light or mountains of light in a sea of darkness, the tall areas in the light still and the darker areas, lower areas in the shadow. And in addition to that, a non-scientific thing I'll bring up is that the crew, from the start of this today, as they've gotten closer to the moon, have really started to make the moon part of their own. For example, in the beginning, when they first started observing the moon today, they have proposed some names for some craters. They've named one crater at the eastern edge, I believe the eastern area of the near side, or the western area of the near side, after their spacecraft called Integrity, and they named another Carol in honor of Commander Weissman's late wife.
Yeah, we played that moment, and what a poignant moment that was, and to be able to witness that, it was really a privilege for us here on the ground to see that moment. You mentioned the browns and the greens that Victor had mentioned, and sort of it seemed like the rugged terrain along that terminator and the far side. How many years do you think scientists will be kept busy from the observations on this mission?
Well, I think it's going to take a lot of analysis of the detailed observations the crew is going to send back to the ground, as well as the photographs they took. It's not only going to inform scientific work done today, but it'll probably be used to generate generations of students in the future, in addition to how we're going to use it at NASA to prepare for the trips that will land on the surface of the moon and build a base at the South Pole of the moon.
Really quick, are you counting down the next 10 minutes until we hear from them again?
Well, we're looking forward to hear from them. They're going to continue their observations. We're expecting that later, as they go through an eclipse, they're going to have some really interesting observations of when the sun, when the moon is shielding them from the sun. What does that look like from where they are in space as opposed to what we see when we're on the ground? So there's a lot of science to come when they come back into radio contact with us.
I can't wait. Joel Kearns, thank you so much for your time.